Drake's never dropped anything, I think.
I thought nothing was the same.
Nothing was
the same.
No, nothing was the same. I think it might have been If You're Reading This Is Too Late.
That
might have been it.
I think that was it. He just came out.
But that was a mixtape.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
It was an album though, really.
Yeah, I think it's a contractual definition now what a mixtape is. It's not what it really used to be. Mixtape back in the day is when you take somebody else's beats, you rap over them, you don't have the rights to sell it, so you put it out for free to circulate. But now they got original music on the mixtape, and they're still calling it a mixtape. I really don't get that shit. I don't get that. It doesn't make sense. It's your music. Nobody else has a song on it. How is it a mixtape?
But I think legally it was still constituted as an album. And I think that was the album that kind of got him out, like his contractual obligations.
Well, legally, you can't sell a mixtape. So there's only one definition in that sense of an album, because mixtapes are intellectual properties. You're rapping over intellectual property, which is not yours. So by definition, you can't sell it until you get the rights.
But this one was the opposite.
So it was in a mixtape. I'm considering it an album.
Yeah, me too.
Same with the word freestyle really got twisted up. Freestyle is when you have no pre-writtens, you go off the top. But now, somewhere in the mid 2000s, people just started referring to just random, verses as freestyles. Like, that's not a freestyle. It's just, that's a term. Mixtape, something similar, I think. People are just calling everything a mixtape. That's not an official album. But
how do you know when a rapper is not saying something that he's memorized as a verse that he's already got ready, or he will have ready?
You don't.
Or she will have ready, yeah.
You don't, but I feel like if you ever wrote raps like we did, you can't freestyle punchlines, especially like maybe once in a while you might serendipitously stumble into a nice double entendre. Mr. Fab, man, if you don't know who Mr. Fab is, he's one of the nicest freestylers out there. The other one back in the 90s was Supernatural. Supernatural was like the craziest off the top. But the thing is, I could tell just by the depth of the lyrics. You could rhyme all you want, but when you're rhyming a scheme and you keep rhyming different variations of the same word, like, that's written.
When there's a lot of depth to it.
Yeah, like, I could tell. I could definitely tell.
Like the Eminem Tim Westwood one where he just...
No, that's written. That's not a freestyle. Yeah, people calling it free. That's a written
where
rap,
he went
for
just
sure.
So hard.
Yeah,
my gosh.
Eminem has a legit freestyles where Paul Rosenberg is throwing in words.
I remember that.
So that's the only way to prove it. It's like cell phone, cell phone, who the hell's home? Like that whole, you can find it on YouTube. That's a legit freestyle. So that's the only way you can really prove it. It's like, verifying that it's off top. But yeah, those two words it's interesting, man, how, this shit evolves. But on that note, I think M needs to do more mixtapes. So I feel like what happens with albums, man, there's a lot of pressure. And I feel like, funny enough, I was watching before you got here, Drink Champs, the podcast, Nori, the rapper. So there's a rapper really popular. He used to collaborate with Big Pun out of New York.
I'm familiar with Nori.
Yeah, he has a podcast called Drink Champs.
Okay.
Basically, he gets a bunch of people around the table, famous artists. They get drunk, smoke weed, and they chop it up. I saw an episode
with Diddy.
Yeah, so Wayne is just on the latest one.
Okay.
To promote this album. And Wayne was saying, they were asking him about the mixtape approach. Like, how was he on so many verses? And what he basically said is, when I went to Baby to put out an album, he wanted me to stick to the New Orleans lingo and the stories and that whole flavor of music, But he was like, I listen to New York shit and I want to rap like them, but I couldn't do that on the album. So when I went to school, I would rap like that in the cypher. So he was like, for me, mixtapes was this experimental playground where I used to jump and play with different styles and not be constrained by, what the label wants and the sound, Because back in the day, you got to remember, the artist didn't have that much freedom. If you listen to The Way I Am by Eminem, the way that song came together is because the label was like, yo, you need another hit single. The label used to dictate what kind of music
you could put out.
You needed, right? Now I think it's a lot looser.
Yeah.
So back in the day, Wayne was like, damn, the label wants me to sound like I'm from New Orleans and rap in that style. But mixtapes is where I went to experiment. Never charged a single dollar. He never made $1 off of mixtapes ever. And who really perfected the mixtape craft, people listening that are probably a bit younger, was 50 Cent. He laid the foundation of the whole mixtape approach.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. 50, he originated the mixtape game.
How many mixtapes did he have?
Dog, I don't know. I don't even remember.
I don't remember. Oh, actually, I've heard a few 50 mixtapes. I've heard a few.
He has some mixtapes, but
so he came out pretty much before other people when it comes to the mixtape game, and he built the foundation. You're saying?
I don't know if he's the first. Obviously, he's probably not the first one, but he really built that approach. 50 he's a genius, man. What he used to do with mixtapes, is he used to experiment and see what sticks. So he would put a bunch of shit out on the streets via mixtapes. And then he'd go talk to the bootleggers and he would see what's popular. If that works, puts it on the album. So you would kind of like test the market. You know, in design, we do the same shit. It's called user testing.
Beta testing, user testing.
So that's what he used to like A/B test all day, except he used the mixtape as a medium.
Wow.
You know?
Before he even got big and everything.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And he would just like talk to them, the guy selling the mixtapes, and be like, yo, what's selling today? He's like, yo, man, that shit you got with Lloyd Banks, what you guys are going off, that shit is, you know, takes notes. Album time, you know what I mean? 50's a genius, bro. Shout out to him. Just got a star of, on the Walk of Fame.
Yeah, he did.
Shout out to 50, man.
50, man. I respect him a lot. I like the guy.
Animal. He's an animal.
He is. I love how he just goes so hard.
Yeah, he really put his foot down when it came to the mixtape game. 50 and Wayne, you can't say mixtapes without those two guys, man. But I really want to see more M on mixtapes. No pressure, because you know when you're in album mode, he's always got the Ed Sheeran feature. He's got to have that popular shit. That I want to see him raw, man. Just like no constraints. Don't even worry about shit. Put out six songs for free. Don't even charge.
I feel like mixtapes. Just going back to that, they're like a dying breed. I feel like they become extinct. I can't remember, other than like Drake's purported mixtape, but I just can't remember the last time someone actually said, "Oh, here's a mixtape."
Two reasons for that.
Yeah, I'm curious. What's the phenomenon like?
Personal takes.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think why put that much? So originally the mixtape was to build a buzz, you know, so the record labels could notice you. If you go back longer than that, there was demo tapes. So the idea was like the way designers have portfolios, rappers have a demo tape where you demonstrate your abilities, you ship it off to the major label, somebody hears it, and the A&R reaches out and signs you. So I think back then, you know, like early 2000s, the business model was different, where you had a demo tape. You had to build a buzz in the streets with mixtapes. Now, you can just go on SoundCloud. You can buy a beat for $30, like the Lil Nas X did with Old Town Road, and just go straight original.
SoundClick, yeah.
So I think
the internet's changed everything.
I think that's a lot of it. And the other thing too, and this is a double. Let me turn the snares off in the headphone. This is like a double take too, because you can't upload mixtapes on Spotify.
Why not? Oh, because of the copyright issues.
Copyrights.
Yeah. Duh.
The problem too this presents is, outside of, you know, why this is a medium of music and entertainment, is that some of the greatest music I've ever heard in my life is on mixtapes. And unfortunately, it's not accessible because Spotify or Apple Music cannot legally upload it.
So it's like Hot New Hip Hop. Is that the only place? Or something?
That Piff is on there. There's a bunch of sites, but the problem is convenience. It's not really convenient. When you're in the car, yo, Siri, play whatever.
Yeah.
So I think all these young kids, because it's so difficult to reach, and they're so, you know, you're lazy, man. You don't want to go out of your way and log into websites. People are just not listening to mixtapes
It's
anymore.
either Spotify, Apple Music, or one of the mediums.
Myself included, man. Like, I go on Dat Piff when I want to listen to, like, Murder Mook's Misunderstood or some of his younger shit. But in general, I don't listen to much mixtapes because of that. I wish I did, but it's like when I want to, it's not right there. It makes me
relate.
work.
I can totally relate. I think the last time was early 2010s that I got on Dat Piff. I can't remember the last time.
Yeah. I got the app on my phone, but it's not ideal, you know. So I think that's probably why the whole mixtape thing isn't popular anymore. But I'd love for somebody to bring it back, man, because there's this pendulum. It always swings. Things go one way, whether it's fashion, movies, culture, and then it swings right back the other way. So I feel like it's not too far-fetched for somebody to come back and... Vinyl, bro. Look at vinyl. Vinyl came back. Why? Because it's different. So I feel like when the market gets saturated with, you know, Spotify rappers... I was in Best Buy today, and I saw boomboxes are back with cassettes. So I feel like it's only a matter of time until somebody starts doing demo tapes again or something, right? Like, just to get the attention. When everybody goes one route, the only way to stand out is when you go the other.
Like
right?
Adele going only physical first week.
Yeah. So who knows? But Wayne, man, Wayne's mixtape era, mixtape Wheezy, bro, that was a crazy era.
Yeah, it was so awesome because it's like the hottest beats and it's the hottest rapper.
Yeah, into one.
Like, it's like everything you want. you know, I want you on these hottest beats. And it's just like, there's something about that. It's like so gritty. It's like you could just hear that not much time spent on this, not much quality, and they just go in. There's something about that.
The way Steve Jobs and Bill Gates had the war of ideology of open systems versus closed systems.
Yep.
That to me is like Eminem and Wayne. Because Eminem's got the approach where I'm going to write out every syllable and I'm going to make sure it's perfectly clean cut and technically sound. And I'm going to take my time with it. I'm not going to overexpose myself. I'm going to only come out once every 2 years, drop a project, and back the fuck out.
That's Steve Jobs' apple.
And then you got Wayne, who in his prime banked on quantity over quality. He was on everybody's fucking feature, whether you liked it or not. He would just pump out. I think he pumped out like 100 guest features in a year or something one time. So it's interesting, right? But like I think both of them are examples that either could work if you're, you know, talented enough.
Yeah.
Because Wayne had that feature run. Remember when he was on everything? Rockstar, Party Like a Rockstar, Fat Joe, Make It Rain.
Everything,
man. And it worked. It worked for him.